Welcome to This Explainer. Have you ever wondered why some high earners are just constantly stressed about money while people making half as much seem, totally at peace? Today, we're diving into this hidden relationship between our possessions and our wealth. We'll be using some really powerful insights from a recent deep dive by Alicia Invests. We're going to break down exactly why this happens and, more importantly, how you can fundamentally change your relationship with your stuff and your financial stability.
So let's start with a really stark contrast. Picture two apartments in the exact same city, exact same neighborhood. Rent is basically the same. Apartment A belongs to someone earning $95,000 a year. You walk in and boom, massive 75-inch TV, $4,000 leather sectional, closets literally overflowing with clothes that still have tags on them. And the spare bedroom? It's essentially a glorified storage unit. But here's the catch. This person checks their bank account with a knot in their stomach. They are exactly 2 missed paychecks away from a total financial crisis. Now walk across the hall to apartment B. This person earns $52,000 a year. But here you notice space. Modest couch, reasonably sized TV, and a kitchen with just the tools they actually use. The spare bedroom is, an actual bedroom. And this person checks their bank account with calm confidence. They've got 18 months of living expenses saved up, and they're investing 20% of every single paycheck.
The math here is absolutely wild. The person earning almost half as much money has nearly 10 times the financial security of their high-earning neighbor. 10 times! This completely shatters that illusion that financial stability is just about how much income you bring in. It's really not. It's a story about lifestyle choices and the hidden cost of the things we choose to surround ourselves with.
All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll look at the tale of two apartments, uncover the true cost of stuff, and explore rules for intentional spending. After that, we'll dive into the lifestyle multiplier effect, redefine how wealth means having options, and wrap up with how to start cyclical decluttering today.
Section 1. Tale of two apartments. Look, the crucial point here is that our $95K earner in apartment A isn't inherently bad with money in the traditional sense. They aren't out gambling, they aren't feeding expensive addictions. What happened is way more subtle. They just accumulated a lifestyle over time that now requires every single dollar they earn just to keep it afloat. They are literally trapped by their own possessions.
Meanwhile, the modest earner in apartment B discovered a secret that changes the whole game. Owning less doesn't mean living worse. It means living deliberately. And that deliberate living, it creates a massive financial margin, this beautiful buffer of cash and security that most higher earners never even get to experience, simply because their income is immediately swallowed up by their lifestyle.
Moving to Section 2, the true cost of stuff. This brings us to a concept that will honestly reframe every future purchase you ever make. It's the realization that everything you own actually costs money twice. The first cost is obvious, right? The price on the receipt. But it's the second cost that silently drains your wealth.
Let's break down this second costs. Think about a treadmill taking up 20 square feet in your home. At, say, $30 to $50 per square foot in urban areas, you're paying up to $1,000 a year in implicit rent for what is essentially a very expensive clothes hanger. Then there's maintenance. A boat, for instance, costs about 10% of its value annually just in upkeep. Next is mental energy. Visual clutter actually spikes your cortisol levels. Your unused stuff is literally stressing you out. And finally, the massive opportunity cost. A $15,000 home gym setup? That could have been $15,000 in index funds, growing to $50,000 over 15 years. You didn't just buy a gym, you traded away your future financial freedom.
Section 3, Rules for Intentional Spending. So to stop bleeding money through these hidden second costs, we need to look at the clear mathematical rules for intentional spending that minimalists use to protect their wealth.
The first rule is calculating your cost per use. Before you buy anything, try to estimate how many times you'll realistically use it. Let's do the math. A $400 jacket worn 200 times, that costs just $2 per wear. But a $200 jacket that you only wear twice? That's $100 per wear. The more expensive jacket is vastly cheaper in any meaningful sense. It's a simple formula, but it absolutely destroys the logic behind most impulse purchases.
Another incredibly powerful tool for the stuff you already own is the replacement test. Walk through your home and ask yourself, if this item magically disappeared today, would I actually spend my hard-earned money to replace it? If your unused bread maker or that old fondue set vanished tomorrow, would you really go buy another one? If the answer is no, it's just existing in your life through pure inertia, not intention. It actually has a negative value. taking up your space and draining your mental energy.
The next rule is all about your environment. Look, human behavior naturally follows the path of least resistance. Your willpower will eventually deplete, but your environment is constant. So create spending friction. Delete your saved credit card numbers. Mandate a 24-hour waiting period for non-essential purchases. Delete those shopping apps. Unsubscribe from the promo emails. Make spending hard and saving easy. Just implementing that 24-hour waiting period alone can instantly eliminate roughly 70% of impulse purchases. Seriously, 70%.
Section 4. The Lifestyle Multiplier Effect. Let's see how our spending builds into this multiplier effect, showing exactly how single purchases can quickly spiral completely out of control.
A major purchase is almost never just the item itself. When you buy a boat, for example, you trigger an entire cascade of related ecosystems. Suddenly you need a trailer, right? And a hitch, storage fees, insurance, ongoing maintenance. A purchase that looked like $5,000 quickly multiplies into a $12,000 trap. This is exactly how the cluttered apartment we saw at the start happened. They didn't just buy a 75-inch TV, they bought the premium cable package, the surround sound system, and the oversized media console to match the whole shebang.
Section 5. Wealth means having options. To truly escape this accumulation trap, we have to fundamentally shift how we measure success. We've got to stop measuring wealth by visible possessions and start measuring it by invisible options.
True wealth is optionality. It's the freedom to walk away from a toxic job, the ability to take 6 months off for a family emergency, or having the runway to start your own business. That kind of freedom only exists if you have a wide margin between what you earn and what you spend. And you only get that margin by defining what enough is before your income expands. If you decide a $30,000 car is enough, then when you get a raise, that extra money buys your freedom. It doesn't buy a $70,000 car that just keeps you chained to your desk.
And what's really beautiful about this is the virtuous cycle it creates. We often buy things to fill an emotional void created by financial insecurity, right? But when you spend less and save more, you build real security. Having actual financial strength in your bank account naturally dissolves the emotional insecurity that drives us to compulsively buy more stuff. You don't need to buy a status symbol to feel successful because your bank account is already telling you that you are.
Section 6. Start cyclical decluttering today. So how do we actually put all this into practice? How do we start bridging the gap between the stressed, cluttered high earner and the financially free, modest earner starting today?
The secret here is avoiding that exhausting annual purge where you throw away 300 things in a weekend only to slowly accumulate them all back over the next year. Instead, try these 3 simple steps for cyclical decluttering. Step 1. Weekly, remove just 3 incoming or unused items. That's it, it's totally manageable and sustainable. Step 2. Monthly, evaluate one category of your spending, using that 24-hour waiting rule, just to see how many impulse desires naturally evaporate. And Step 3. Quarterly. Count your possessions in key areas, like clothing or kitchen items, to assess your accumulation trends. Doing this builds a sustainable system that catches accumulation early, way before it overwhelms your home and your wallet.
As we've seen, building long-term wealth isn't just about how big your paycheck is. It's about having extreme clarity on what actually matters. The math heavily favors living deliberately. So, as you look around your living space right now, I want to leave you with a really provocative thought to chew on. Look at all the stuff surrounding you. Do you own your possessions, or are you comfortable letting them own you?